Hello there, recruits. We hadn't expected to see you back quite so soon, but I am glad you're here. We've got a lot of repair work to do around the living quarters. Now, this isn't the type of thing you would usually see me doing, but while the war is on, we all have to step up and take on different roles. Today, we're all very much channeling the spirit of the Americans, so I've dressed as Rosie the Riveter to try and get some manual work done. Have you heard of Rosie the Riveter yet? Well, I think this is a great opportunity for you to learn a little bit about her now, as she is one of the most iconic representations of women during the Second World War. Rosie the Riveter is a famous fictional character used by the American government in the campaign to get women to join the labour force. This is the original image of Rosie the Riveter by Norman Rockwell, showing her on her lunch break at work. He painted her posed like the prophet Isaiah in Michelangelo's famous fresco on the Sistine Chapel ceiling. She rests her foot on a copy of Hitler's Mein Kampf, riveting gun resting on her lap and her rosy lunchbox nearby. This image was adapted and modelled by lots of different women, though the most famous image is the iconic "We Can Do It" poster. The "We Can Do It" slogan was intended to inspire, boost morale, and act as a symbol of strength alongside the image of Rosie. Women were needed to do all kinds of different labour jobs, such as engineering, working in factories and shipyards, all because so many American men had to go off and fight in the war. The women doing these jobs have come to be known as Rosies. The Rosie Riveter image is not just about one woman, but is a symbol for the millions of women doing these jobs. Typically, women wouldn't be doing these types of jobs, but I think this is a real opportunity to show that we are capable and competent, and maybe this will pave the way for the future. The first image of Rosie the Riveter was actually inspired by a song, which was based on a real woman, Rosalind Walter, who passed on college to take night shifts as an assembly line worker at an aircraft factory. She signed up to drive rivets and to weld steel to fighter planes. I've collected some images of some Rosies to show you the types of work that they would be doing. Why don't I play you the Rosie the Riveter song, now that this is all fixed, and you can have a look at these pictures.
All the day long, whether rain or shine, she's a part of the assembly line. She's making history, working for victory. Rosie the Riveter keeps a sharp lookout for sabotage, sitting up there on the fuselage. That little frail can do more than a male can do. Rosie the Riveter. Rosie's got a boyfriend, Charlie. Charlie, he's a Marine. Rosie is protecting Charlie, working overtime on the riveting machine. When they gave her a production knee, she was as proud as a girl could be. There's something true about red, white, and blue about Rosie the Riveter. Rosie the Riveter, Rosie, 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 working on assembly line. Bubble day, bubble dee dee leave it on daddle day. Reevy boy, reevy boy, reevy. Rosie, 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 the Riveter on the assembly line.
So, what was that? Sorry? You want to know what a riveter is? Well, a riveter is a person whose job it is to fasten rivets in the construction of aircraft. A rivet is a type of mechanical fastening used in the construction of aircraft and other armoured vehicles. A riveting gun is used to punch rivets through two sheets of metal to fasten them together. Quite often, when you see a depiction of Rosie the Riveter, you'll see her with that riveting gun, though it's not the most recognisable part about the Rosie image, which is probably the headscarf and the boiler suit. The Rosie style is already one of the most well-recognised outfits, and I imagine it will be well into the future. In these industrial environments, each position came with its own risks. Welding was a fire hazard, lathes involved sharp blades, and certain machines could snatch loose hair. As women have been historically unheard of in these positions, safe work uniforms don't really exist for female figures. Some professions, such as nursing, provided plain, serviceable dress, but that wasn't quite practical for rigorous industrial work. Women have had to buy men's heavy denim or leather coats, steel-toed boots and gloves. Protective clothing is a problem as the war goes on, as the women in these roles are just seen as makeshift substitutes until the men return to work, so it's not seen as worthwhile to make suitable work clothes. They often spend their days off from store to store in search of warm, practical, well-fitting work clothes, only to come back to work wearing poor substitutes, often hazardous to health and safety. Although they don't have everything they need, these labour workers are pushing on and getting the job done. In fact, the image of Rosie the Riveter and everything it stands for is actually starting up more discussions about equal pay. This is because all of these women are taking on these jobs that are considered as really highly skilled. Even jobs such as driving fire engines or trains and trams. And all of the work they're doing in the shipbuilding, metal and engineering industries. Hopefully this will start a good conversation for the future. I would like you to see if you can find out about 3 specific jobs that women are taking on during the Second World War, and write a little bit about what they involve and why they are important. If you have any denim shirts or pieces of fabric laying around your living quarters, it would be great for you to have a go at recreating your own Rosie the Riveter look, or have a go at making a poster in the Rosie style to keep inspiring people to push forward. Remember to keep calm, carry on, and don't forget, we can do it.